All right, I finally got in the new PolySync 60 speakerphone. This is the largest PolySync speakerphone that they make. You have the PolySync 20, you have the PolySync 40, and now you have the PolySync 60, which I'm going to unbox here in just a second. But there's a really unique feature on this speakerphone that I want to show you here. You can actually pair up two of these wirelessly, so you can use two of these speakerphones for larger conference phones. So stay tuned for that. In this video, I'll show you that feature, how to do it, and also the performance of the speaker and how it performs. For those of you new here, my name is David, and this is the channel Headset Advisor, where we review and compare all of the latest business headsets, speakerphones, and webcams. So hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out on reviews and comparison videos just like this one. All right, let's get to unboxing this speakerphone right now. All right, let's see what's in the box here. So here we go. First impressions here. Just has this plastic sleeve over the speaker, and this thing's really long. That's like 12 inches. Have some power connectors. Looks like you have a USB-C to USB-A connection, and you have the other side of the power adapter. And that is all that's inside the box, aside from a manual and a quick start guide. So that's very easy, very simple. Let me get out these other speakerphones just so you can see how these things compare as far as size goes. So this is the 20. It's about 6 inches. Then you got like 9 inches. Then you got 12 inches. Now that's probably dramatically wrong, but you get the idea of the concept here. So there it is. It's significantly almost double the size of two PolySync 20s to this PolySync 60 here. Now let's take a quick look at the power adapter. Has a little Poly logo etched on the power adapter there. And then they have all the connections if you are international. We're here in the United States, so we have this 110 plug here. So you just push that in and now you're connected. And then let's see how long this cable is, because that's a big issue that I have on some of these. It's like, if your device is supposed to be connected 30 feet away from your computer and they give you a small cable, you got to buy your own cable in order to do it. So anyways, this cable is USB-C on one end, which is going to plug into the bottom of this PolySync 60. And then it has USB-C on the other end, but it's also USB-A. And if you look, it's USB 3.0. So you're going to have that faster data transfer on this particular USB cable. So there's two simple connections here. Just USB-C on the bottom. And then you're going to be able to plug in the power just like that. And there's actually one additional plug here. So this is if you have a Poly camera, you can actually plug in a USB camera to this port right here so that you can transfer all of that data through this port, and then you only have one plug into your computer. So that kind of helps make things a little more simple. You can put your camera like on the desk or up on a monitor, going through this speaker, going then to your computer through one cable. So that's a nice feature to have. All right, so what we're gonna do is clean up this mess, plug in the speakerphone to the computer, and start doing our test so you can hear for yourself how this thing performs. All right, now we have the PolySync 60 hooked up to the computer. It was very easy to get it connected. Simply plug in the power adapter and then plug in the USB cable. Now, taking a quick look at the speaker here, it does have this nice LED light on the top and the bottom of the speakerphone. So for example, if you mute the microphone, it has this really cool red LED letting everybody know that your microphone is muted. So now you can proceed to have your negotiations or whatever you need to do so that the other side can't hear you, and then unmute it, and then you're back to being able to talk like normal. And there's 6 microphones actually built into this speakerphone, so that makes it really nice to be able to have everybody's voice be picked up no matter where they're sitting in the room. There's a couple of other buttons here at the bottom. You have your Bluetooth pairing,
connected.
Your NFC button, you have your volume up and down, and then this LED light kind of shows you how much volume you're at. So now we're about 50%, and then you can kind of work your way back up there. You have this programmable, they have a rocket ship button. This is going to allow you to customize this button depending upon what you want it to do. And then you have your phone call button. So this will allow you to answer and end calls depending upon what software you have. Now looking at the side of the PolySync 60,
PC connected.
You have two USB charging points. That's only for connecting like a mobile phone to charge the battery. So you could hook up two mobile phones that are charging simultaneously through here. Then you have this really cool sync button here. And this is going to allow you to pair up two of these speakers side by side. And I'm going to show you that here in just a second. We're going to connect them up and also fully test them so that you can hear the sound quality difference between one speaker versus two speakers, both the mics and the speakers. So stay tuned for that. All right, so that gives you a good overview. Let me just show you the back of this. This is where the two cables are plugged in. And then there is this extra port here for your USB camera. So if you have a Poly camera, you can plug it in there. So that you only have one USB cable connecting to your computer, which helps make things a little tidier. Now let's go ahead and see how loud this speaker is so you can hear for yourself the sound quality of this speakerphone. All right, so now before we play some audio through this speakerphone, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. All right, now I'm gonna play some audio between this speaker and also the Sync 20. And I'm gonna alternate between both of them so that you can hear right through the camera, the kind of the sound difference, and then you can monitor also how much decibels is coming out of the speakers. So Jeff, go ahead and play the conference.
The rain now that falls is not getting into the soil and feeding those springs like it used to back half a century ago.
Thank you. Now, Claire, did you have some comments to make?
Look, I just wanted to compliment.
The rain now that falls is not getting into the soil and feeding those springs like it used to back half a century ago.
Thank you. Now, Claire, did you have some comments to make?
Look, I just wanted to compliment.
All right, so the PolySync 60 definitely sounded much better than the PolySync 20, which is the very small version. You got more volume, and then you of course have better bass and a little bit clearer audio so you can have a conversation better. Now, how does it compare as far as microphones? So let's test out the microphones. All right, now my voice is coming through the PolySync 60, and this is at about 3 feet away from the device. And again, this has 6 microphones built into this speakerphone here, and I'll do a variety of distance so you can see how well the microphone picks up. But this is what you can expect at about 3 feet away from the speakerphone. All right, now this is the PolySync 20 at about 3 feet away. So this is what the mic pickup is on this conferencing unit. Now, what you want to know is that this is a personal speakerphone, whereas the Sync 60 is really designed for maybe 5 to 10 people around that device. And then, of course, when you double up that Sync 20, you can get maybe up to 20 people, I would say, max in a room. So I just want to give that quick little footnote here. So this is 3 foot away. So let's test at 8 feet. All right, now this is about 8 feet away from the device, and this is how loud my voice comes through with the PolySync 60. You want to be able to hear my voice loud and clear and not too far in the background. All right, now I'm here in the corner of the room. This is about 8 feet away from the PolySync 20. This is what the pickup is like. You want to be able to hear my voice loud and clear without sounding too far in the background here. All right, now my voice is about 15 feet away from the speakerphone here. So this is what it's going to sound like if you're somebody at the far end of a conference table 15 feet away from the actual conferencing device. And I'm talking at a normal volume. I'm not, screaming to try to talk into the speakerphone. So this is what the voice pickup range would sound like at about 15 feet. All right, now I am 15 feet away from the speakerphone here, kind of behind the scenes on the camera. This is 15 feet away from the speakerphone, and this is what the voice would sound like at a range of 15 feet. But you want to keep in mind that you're not going to use the Sync 20 for this type of thing. You're just using this as a comparison to how the Sync 60 may perform. All right, so that gives you a good test of the microphone on the PolySync 60. Now I'm curious to hear from you. What did you think of the microphone of the PolySync 60? Put your thoughts in the comment section below. Would love to get your feedback. Now, of course, we compared it with the PolySync 20, which is really a lot smaller. As you see, it's half the size of the PolySync 60. And you use the 20 if it's in a personal use situation, whereas the PolySync 60 is more for a medium-sized room here. So I just wanted to give you kind of a baseline there. Now, after listening to them back and hearing the distance test, the pickup mics on the Sync 60 performed much better from my perspective. So I really enjoyed the pickup range even at 15 feet on the 60, where the 20 at 15 feet, it was pretty noticeable that somebody's in the background and you might have a hard time hearing somebody in a conference call if you're using a device like the Sync 20 for a larger room. But on the Sync 60, that performed pretty well at that 15-foot mark. But what I'm really curious about here is how is it going to perform once we pair up the second device and we have two full big speakerphones on one communication. So you can have two pods. You're going to be able to put two Sync 60s at two ends of the table so that your voice can be picked up on this side of the table or this side of the table, and same thing with the speakers. So it's really going to empower the microphone and speakers on the PolySync 60. So let's get them plugged in and paired up, and I'll show you how to do that, and then we'll test the speakers and the mic so that you can hear the sound quality difference. All right, so really quickly here, I want to show you how this setup works and how to pair everything together. It's very simple. So before we show you the pairing procedure, really quickly, you first need two Sync 60 speakerphones, and then you'll need a BT600 USB dongle. This is sold separately, and I'll have a link, of course, to the products in the video description below, so check those out there. But what you'll need to do, you could also do this with a mobile phone instead of the BT600. So if you're trying to connect to a conference through mobile phones, then you wouldn't need the BT600, but the BT600 is for computers, laptops, your typical office environment. You're probably going to want the USB dongle. Okay, so I'm going to show this procedure through the USB dongle. So what you're going to do is, we'll call this Sync 60 the main unit. You just worry about pairing that up to the USB dongle. So you take this Bluetooth icon here and you hold it until it says pairing mode.
Pairing.
And then Jeff, can you go ahead and put this USB dongle in pairing mode? And as you can see, our USB dongle is now flashing red and blue. And we'll just wait a few seconds here in order for this to pair up.
Pairing successful.
All right, so now the Bluetooth dongle is paired up to this speakerphone here.
PC connected.
Oh, there it says PC connected. All right, so now what we have to do is get the two speakers to start talking. And in order to do that, there's this link button on the side of the speakerphone. So you're gonna click and hold that on this speakerphone.
Connecting.
Until it says connecting, and then you'll do the same thing on the other Sync 60. This is the main unit. So they're both saying connecting here.
Connection successful.
So now both soundbars are saying connection successful. So audio is going to play out of both of these speakers now. So let's give it a try and see how these speakers and microphones sound on both these units. All right, the great thing about having two completely paired up Sync 60 is you can really enhance the experience to your conference room. So For example, if this was the conference room table, you can have the two speakers set up on the table at both ends so everybody can be heard. And having two of these conference phones, you can get about, I would say, 20 people, depending upon your configuration and the size of your room. But it gives you a lot of speaker and microphone power. So fully working speakers and mics on both Sync 60 speakerphones. If you have a setup that you maybe have two tables, you could put one on each table. Just remember that the devices have to be within about 30 to 50 feet of each other, and also that USB dongle. So just keep that in mind. But let's get to seeing how this sounds with both the devices connected. So Jeff, go ahead and play some audio.
Now that falls is not getting into the soil and feeding those springs like it used to back half a century ago.
Thank you. Now, Claire, did you have some comments to make?
Look, I just wanted to compliment the
All right, so now we're going to just go right into the microphone test, and actually my voice is being recorded directly through these PolySync devices here, and I'm about 3 feet away from either device. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of walk around the devices here. So right now I'm on the left side or your right side of the screen. Then I'm going to walk over here to the other side so you can get an idea of what it sounds like when I'm walking on this end of the speakerphone. So this is going to give you a good idea of how much voice is being picked up on this PolySync 60 when you have them both paired up. Now I'm going to just step 15 feet away so you can get an idea of what that sounds like too. All right, now this is the same 15-foot test away from the devices, and both of them are 15 feet away from me, but really what you would do is have one device closer at the other end of the table with the other device on the other end. But this gives you an idea if there's more volume and more voice being picked up in the room. All right, so what did you think of the wireless paired up conference phones on the Sync 60? Did you like that feature? And did it sound good? Put your thoughts in the comment section below. Would love to hear your feedback. Now, overall, my final thoughts here, the PolySync 60 just standalone is a really nice quality, sounds good. You can hear it from far, it has good pickup range, and just overall ease of use, plug and play. It's very simple and very easy to use. And of course, it's priced competitively at MSRPs for $5.99. But then you also have that extra option to be able to pair up that second one wirelessly. So you can have these two speakers on two separate tables or just enhance the audio experience if you have a lot of people in a conference call, say upwards of 20 plus people. You can utilize two full working speakerphones wirelessly so that you can connect to your computer with a wireless connection and between both these devices. So you don't have to have one cable running across the table. All you have is just the power cable going to the wall. So that gives you kind of an overview of the PolySync 60. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Just so you know, these will be available on our website. I'll put a link in the video description as well as the accessories that we talked about in this video. Make sure you use coupon code YouTube, all one word YouTube. That's going to get you the best deal on these products. And then of course, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. That's what we do all day long. We make recommendations for people who are trying to enhance their audio experience in their businesses. So reach out. We'd love to help, absolutely free. Well, that's all I got for you on this video. I want you to check out this video here on the best Bluetooth wireless headset with noise canceling. Check it out here. Other than that, I really appreciate you coming by and watching this video. We'll see you next time.